We're back again here on This State of Things. Today is August 23rd, 2021. How you guys doing?
I'm good. You doing all right?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah, it's been a good day. I was off today.
You're off today. Wasn't that nice? What about yourself?
I was not off today.
You were not off today? Well, even nicer. I wasn't either. So, what do you want to talk about? Why is it so bright in here?
I had to cut some lights on because the camera.
All right.
So we could see you.
It's a good reason. So, my Instacart order's complete, so we can move on with this.
All right, cool.
How much did your order end up being?
Oh, $94.
That's not
And
too
11
bad.
cents.
And how often do you do it?
Like once a week.
Okay,
$400 a month.
What about it?
I think that answers itself.
How much do you spend on food a month?
Not $400.
Yes, you do.
I don't
Yes, you
actually,
do.
because I have Mint, the app that tracks your spending,
Mhm.
and I saw like the first month
Yeah.
when I was really tracking grocery spending. I was like, "How on earth?" I was like, "We're not doing this. We're not doing this anymore."
What?
Because it was close
Buying
to that.
groceries?
It was close to that, and I was like, "We're not spending that much money."
Well, I mean, what did you do to negate that?
We just stopped eating on certain days.
What days?
I can't reveal that.
Like Monday, just go ahead and make it the worst day. On top of it already being the worst day.
And then you splurge on Friday.
Yeah.
So you eat like ramen every day until the weekend.
That's right. Chicken pot pies.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Is that like ballpark? What are you spending now, you think? $380?
Oh, probably 200.
No, you're not.
Not between two people.
No, you're not.
I promise.
I mean, are you talking in just groceries? Or are you talking, is that groceries plus like eating out? Because I mean,
well, we do eat out. Well, I say we eat in. We get a lot of takeout.
well, then that's just adding to my 400 is not including. Most of the time, I don't eat out.
Well, it just depends.
I only eat out like a few times a month.
Prices right now for groceries are ridiculous. We have inflation currently,
Yeah, you might as well
which is
go eat out.
everything's more expensive than what it was.
It was.
So
I just bought a block of pepper jack cheese for $5.99.
I saw somebody message or put a GIF out there. Or it was not a GIF, it was a meme about how they spent $100, making this garden and getting the seeds and watering and planting to get a 35-cent vegetable. And that basically, I feel like sometimes we spend so much money to make a meal when we could just go somewhere for much cheaper. Now that is not always the case, I will say, but
Well, the less people you're cooking for, the more expensive it is.
yeah.
If you have a family of 5, I think it's a lot easier to kind of even out those price per portions. But
Mhm.
cooking for 2 people, cooking for 1 person is hard. Because you just end up,
Having leftovers.
yeah,
You have to eat it for like 3 days.
God forbid it sucks.
I'm completely fine with leftovers,
I'm fine with leftovers as long as it doesn't suck.
especially Japanese hibachi leftovers.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you're a hibachi chef now.
Yeah.
Do you have a flat grill?
No, but I do plan on having that one day.
I think you should get one. I know where one is. Do you have room for one?
How big is it?
It's like the size of a grill, and it goes outside.
Yeah,
I'm serious. I know where one is.
I probably do.
I'll contact
Where
you.
is
later.
it?
It's in the backyard of someone's house.
Oh.
Her name starts with a B.
Okay.
I think it's still there.
Oh, I do know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is not really secretive. This is our grandmother.
Yeah, okay. I had heard about that,
About the grill?
and that I should do that instead of buying a grill, and I went and bought a grill.
Well, I think they're completely different things. I think you made the right move.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to, I know you're trying to take it to the next level.
Now I probably,
Yeah. It'd be worth it.
I am taking it to the next level, yeah.
All right, so I was playing a golf tournament this weekend, and it popped up on my phone, AP News. Florida, the governor and the superintendent of education. What's the lead of education in a state called? Secretary of Education.
Probably.
Anyway, they have a few school districts that are mandating masks around the state, and they threatened them, or basically put out an order that says if you do not retract the orders within 48 hours, you will be penalized with a decrease in funding up to, or not limited by, the total salary of the school board, the entire school board per school district. And within, I think they said within a certain time period, if they still did not retract the mandate, more fines, quote unquote, defunding would happen. And I don't know how I feel about that. It kind of bothers me.
Which part?
Decreased funding of schools.
Why?
Because that's just hurting children. These children, I mean, what are they going to do? Move to a school district that's...
Are they cutting the school's funding or the salaries for
No,
the
they're not
the
cutting
school
the salaries.
board?
That's not the way I interpreted it. I interpreted their funding from the state would be decreased by the amount of the total salaries of the school board.
Where does the funding go? And who's in charge of a school's funding? Like, once they get the funds from the state government, who's in charge of allocating those?
I would imagine the school board is in some asset.
Yeah.
I mean, you have, your general ledgers and stuff that get whatever they're going to get, but...
So they're really targeting the school board, sounds like. I mean, obviously, they're not.
Indirectly and directly, I guess, but both are being targeted.
I don't think they're targeting the children.
It might come to that, though.
To the children?
Yeah.
Targeting the children? I don't think
Do
they're
you think
gonna
there's
target
something
the
to be
children.
gained? Something to be gained by removing funds from a school district?
Well, it's clearly incentive for them not to have a mask mandate. That's for sure.
But is that harming someone?
I'm sure it will be. Yeah.
No, I'm just curious. You seem pro this.
Well,
I know you're a fan of Florida.
I'm a fan of Florida. I don't know. I mean, what do masks do for children?
Well, I mean, I guess that depends on your opinion of masks. Are you in they do no good to prevent COVID-19, or are you in the camp of they do something?
I think it depends on the mask.
Okay.
I think that's pretty general knowledge.
Yeah.
I think the N95 mask is the go-to, like the excellent one.
Mm.
But
These are just K9.
if you've just
K
got,
through 12 masks.
just got a cloth mask of a Disney character,
Yeah.
that probably is not very effective.
Do you think it's more effective than not having one on?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. I was just curious.
But what is the goal? If it's still
I think the
going
goal
to infect, if you're still going to infect, what is the goal of a mask?
But if it's doing something, if it prevents one infection, then it's doing something.
Okay. If you're worried about that, you have the right to choose to put on a mask for your child, right?
Absolutely.
Do you think the other child and the parent who's not worried about it should have the right to choose? Or should they be forced? I think that's what this comes down to.
I guess it comes down to, does the general public do their own service to the rest of the public?
A service to the public.
Yeah.
What
like
does
a
that
social
mean?
contract, in a way.
What is a social contract?
What is a social contract?
Well, in this sense, yeah.
In this sense, I guess it would be taking precautions willingly to protect your fellow citizens.
Yeah. So I think you see a lot of the difference in state governments in the country right now. You see one mandating things happen, the other mandating that things don't happen.
Mm-hmm.
In Florida, the case is they're trying to make sure that you cannot force someone to wear a mask. They're not saying that you can't wear a mask, but they're giving you the option, okay, well, once you go to school, You can choose to wear a mask if you want to, but we're not going to force the other people to wear a mask just because the school board wants that to happen. Because I'm sure in that school, not everybody wants to wear a mask.
I mean, I don't know how many people want to wear a mask, but they do it.
I think some people have become
Well, that's not
almost attuned
let's don't get
to their
let's
mask.
don't get down that hole.
It's become their identity now.
Yeah. No, I think people should have the freedom to choose, especially children.
Especially children.
Yeah, for their child, yeah.
Oh, people should be able to choose for their
my
child.
gosh,
Okay.
yeah. I think the larger argument is when we can go back to the social contract piece, but does the government decide, is the government better at deciding things for the health of your child than you are? And whose decision and in whose hands should that
I don't know,
be
but
made?
we've been requiring vaccines to go to school for a long time.
Yeah, for certain things, yeah.
Yeah.
But
And this is a certain thing.
far more deadly.
I mean, true.
Way, way more deadly.
They
We
had
also-
1,700 deaths over the weekend. I mean, that's not insignificant.
Who?
Florida.
In children?
No, not in children.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
No,
But what is
we were just
what
talking
is
about
the
general
population
public.
of Florida?
I have no idea.
Millions.
Okay.
I mean, what is?
I mean, that's fine. I mean, if you don't care about the 1,700 people, that's fine.
I mean, obviously I do. But
Do you?
I mean, do you think about the percentage of people in the total population?
No, we've been in this pandemic for a while.
But we think about COVID. I mean, let's think about other things that cause death too,
Yeah.
and the risk we're willing to take
like seatbelts.
by getting on the road, and that became a law.
It
Which
did.
which you choose not to follow that law,
I don't.
but I
Oh, I thought
definitely
you-
use a seatbelt because I can see clearly that it has benefits to my health if I was going to be in a wreck, which I have been in several. Thanks, Mom.
Well, I'm curious. It's irregardless of your position on if the masks work. Schools already mandate dress codes. Can't wear a hat. I mean, why? Why do you care? If this town decides they want to mandate a mask, isn't that what small government is?
Yeah, I would think that was government overreach for them to decide that on behalf of.
I think it's wasn't that the federal government's the one trying to mandate this over the state.
Yeah, you actually have a 3-tier thing going on right now. You've got
Yeah.
the local, then you've got the state,
they're all
then you've got the
Democrats.
federal.
Well, there's one of them is not a Republican. I mean, Democratic stronghold.
I just think you should have the right to choose. I mean, I don't think that masks are unnecessary. I mean, sometimes they are, but it also depends. At this point, being vaccinated, I think there's some very mixed messages. The whole point of getting vaccinated was so you didn't have to wear a mask, and now fully vaccinated people are masked up again. And then before Delta, children were such a low risk. It was like 0.01%, maybe even less than that. I think it's higher with Delta, but again, it should be up to the parents.
I guess so.
I mean, that's my opinion. And I think that's Ron DeSantis' opinion as well.
There's no doubt about that.
Not forcing somebody to do something, but giving them the option to choose.
Gotcha.
Now, I think New York has done the exact opposite thing.
Well, my real problem with this was the defunding of the school.
Well, I don't think they're going to be having issues because plenty of people have decided they want to fundraise for it and support it.
I guess.
Which is,
Which they already do
the
anyway.
free market system, is alive and well.
Yeah.
So, social contract, though, if you want to get back on that,
I don't.
yeah, then we won't talk about it. But, I mean, there is a very interesting debate to be had there about what is a social contract for a citizen and its other citizenry, and,
Well, I mean,
and the
yeah, I'm
right
sure.
to choose on things and personal freedom, and does it infringe on other people? But what do you think, Austin? We have not heard from you.
I think they should have the right to choose. I think what DeSantis wants is probably the right thing. And I don't think the federal government should have any overreach over that.
Just want to state this isn't the federal government. This is the local town and school district. But I mean,
It's probably a county.
county, yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't for the whole state?
No. These are individual school districts that are. I think it's 8.
For the ones that
Today,
have decided
Tallahassee
to.
School District issued a mask mandate in spite of the threat or order. But like I said, these are all Democratic strongholds within Florida.
So do you think it's a
Okay.
political thing?
Oh, this is all political, and I think you're a clown if you don't believe that.
From DeSantis's point of view?
No, I just
Do-
mean the whole thing.
Oh, I do.
All of the whole pandemic.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
I mean, it's a shame. I mean, you can't do anything about it at this point.
Should vaccinations be required for people?
No.
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 We had vaccines required in the past.
When?
Smallpox.
What are you getting at?
Well, I'm talking about certain
We had-
certain places and employers are now. Isn't Department of Defense?
Oh, I mean,
Well, Pfizer just got FDA approval.
Yeah.
So it's probably coming
Yeah.
sooner rather than later. I think they had a date of like September 15th. So, I mean, they'll probably make it like September 1st now. But from what I understand, I think they were giving out Moderna mostly to the military personnel.
Interesting.
So, I guess they'll be ordering some Pfizer vaccines.
they just got approved today by the FDA, I think, fully.
What was it before? Just partial.
I guess.
Partial approval. We'll give
Unofficial.
out
It was-
millions of
it was-
shots.
it was-
I mean,
it was
they weren't approved. I don't
emergency.
think they were approved at all at the beginning
Mm-mm.
when people were getting it. I don't know.
It was
It might have
emergency
been.
use. They had
Yeah.
like some kind of
It was
clause
like a
in
push
there.
through.
Which I think there's probably. I think the FDA is known for slow rolling approval of medicine.
Well, I mean, that should be
Now
the
that-
case.
Well, I agree.
I think you got to line pockets.
But there's also bureaucracy
Yeah.
involved that
Yeah.
like certain medicines have proved to be effective, and then 10 years later, they're
Oh, yeah.
finally approved.
Yeah, but they also have a history of approving bad medicines too,
That's true.
Yeah.
like Chantix and some other ones that cause like birth defects.
Oh gosh.
So
What is it that Cuba has a really good
Healthcare system.
healthcare,
Yeah.
and from what I've heard,
I don't know
is-
if their system. They have really good doctors.
Well, some of their medicines they have that just haven't been approved here,
Mm-hmm.
and that was what I was thinking about with FDA. They usually take so long, and then cancer treatments I've heard that have some good effects for some cancers are just waiting to be approved.
I think they should probably put those on emergency use as well. Because I mean, if it doesn't work, I mean,
When
Well, I think you can opt into you can waive your rights to experimental drugs.
yeah, some of them, but I think that has to be even approved by the FDA
Oh, does it?
to be on that list for
Oh, okay.
certain things. Yeah.
Were these lights on last time?
uh,
I'm sorry to harp
yeah,
on the lights.
I think they were.
Yeah.
It was these 3 lights were on though, right?
Yeah.
because those
they
are the
can
ones
be
that was
dimmed.
really hot.
Yep.
That's
Cut
right.
those off.
Okay.
So we're not
Good
in here
move.
sweating.
Yeah, good move. Are we done
What
with
do
the
you
school district?
mean? Are we?
I don't know. I mean, it went exactly the way I thought it would.
Which is what?
I mean, I knew what you would say. I just wanted to talk about it.
So you agree that? Do you agree
With what?
with the funding of the school?
No.
How should they?
I have no idea.
Should the school board be able to to
Well,
do
I'm not
that?
even sure. I mean, I think they do have a law that says that they are not allowed to mandate, and that's where the governor's standing his ground.
So if they do you think a child should be able to change schools even though they're in that school district?
Is that a law?
Well, I think you have to go to school where you live unless you're going to private school.
Yeah, or homeschool, I guess.
I think in Arizona, the governor put an executive order. If you are if there's a mask mandate, he will give you money if you want to change schools.
I wonder how that works out in taxes.
Who knows? I wonder how a lot of things work out with taxes.
Because, I mean, do you get a separate tax bill well, I mean, I'm sure some of those counties have multiple school districts.
Well, this is just proof that it's very political.
No, it is.
It's incredibly political. And it's...
Well, that's like, I sent you all that message, those two headlines. And one was New York City to mandate masks for public school teachers and I guess employees, and then right under that, 5 minutes later, posted GOP leaders working to ban mask mandates. And it's just where we at.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the latest.
Yeah, I mean, it's just every day.
I mean, I don't think the vaccine is a bad idea at all. I mean,
No,
I've gotten
no,
the vaccine. I just don't think that you should be forced to do it. I think you should have the freedom to decide whether you want to do it or not. What's good for your family? What's good for your personal health?
But the more people who get the vaccine, I mean, the more effective the vaccine becomes.
Well, isn't it the more people that are infected, the less deadly COVID becomes?
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah. Is that specifically herd immunity, which you never hear about anymore?
No, we passed that bridge.
So, I mean, I just wonder how long COVID is going to be so important to the media.
I feel like it's lost its importance a little bit.
Well, Delta came along and just ramped that
it's still
back up.
obviously still very important. Well, I mean,
CNN literally has a
if-
ticker
like
on the right side of this is how many doses have been of the vaccine have been given to people this week. How many people have died this week from COVID?
Yeah.
It is literally on the right side of the
but
screen.
look how profitable it is.
Oh, I agree. That's what I'm saying. There's no reason for them to be like, okay, well, COVID's not as big of a deal as we're making it to be.
Okay.
I mean, it's definitely played upon.
Yeah, this is more profitable because they come up with these sensational headlines, and I mean, they're just basically trying to farm for clicks online.
That's all it is. But I mean, it is worse than it was.
I think Delta
I mean,
is definitely worse.
If
worse.
last year was your baseline, then of course they're going to ramp it up when it gets worse.
Clearly.
Which I don't know if they've actually ramped it up worse than it was way bad.
Well,
way bad.
well, what about the cases like when we didn't really know as much about COVID? At the very,
back in
very
March?
beginning, yeah.
Yeah.
Even before then, because surely the first case didn't. It was like, all right, it's March. I'm here, America.
No, I think we were getting it back in December.
Maybe even before that.
Just remember the bachelor trip. There were 6 cases in Nashville.
And then it just, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, that's crazy. It was like the origin.
And, yeah, we all got it.
Yeah. So,
Y'all brought it here.
no, I think it was already here.
Yeah, it was.
Where were you?
Nashville?
Nashville. I'm hard of hearing.
I actually didn't get it.
I know. So you think?
Oh, wait, because didn't you go to
Well, at that point,
that wedding? Or is it South America?
El Salvador, yeah. This was again before.
took
It
it
was
to El
in
Salvador.
February. That was February.
Yeah.
And I was in a wedding. And I didn't feel great when I came back. But with Nashville, we got back. And I think at that point, the thought was if you didn't have any symptoms, then you didn't need to get tested.
Did we even have
Yeah.
a test at that point?
Well, one of the people who went got tested, and I think they got the results back like 8 days later.
Yeah, they're really slow, and like they weren't very accurate. Because I remember seeing a headline back then. It was like some president of some country in Africa sent like some goats and some fruits to be tested, and like half of them came back positive.
Never mind. I saw.
Did he just really doubt it that badly?
I saw an experiment someone did with the what is the gene testing, the DNA testing.
Mm-hmm.
52andMe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it 52? How many pairs are there? What is this?
I think it's 53.
53 of me.
I
69
mean,
in me.
it'd be more catchy if it was. Well, I'm about to look this up.
Anyway, so yeah, in the similar vein, I think he sent in. He like swabbed the inside of a grape and sent it in, and that grape ended up being like 75% Albanian.
It's 23andMe, by the way. A little off there. Not great in science.
56 in us.
I knew it rhymed.
Oh God, that's even worse. 46 in us.
So yeah. All right. So with COVID,
Yeah.
I think America. I can't wait till we get past this point. But I'm starting to wonder. Because now you hear on your COVID vaccination,
Mm-hmm.
and Tim Pool's talked about this. You have your two top lines where they'll put a stamp down basically and write when they date it when you
Right.
got, and then there are two other blank lines underneath that.
Yeah.
And everybody's wondering.
There's four lines.
So is it 4 total,
yeah,
right?
there's 2 for the 2 vaccines,
Mhm.
and then there's 2 just blank lines underneath it.
And nobody has really questioned that. Now I think the CDC, I think certain people around the CDC have started to mention getting a third booster shot.
Oh, yeah. You've seen
And
it on
then
TV now.
does that become mandatory? So
Well,
if
the first 2 aren't mandatory.
well, if it does become mandatory in like a company,
Mm-hmm.
do they have to mandate the booster shot like 7 months after? I think it was 6 or 7 months after
It's
you
possible.
got your second.
It's possible.
I see
But
some.
I mean, what do you do? You're going to have the government step in and tell the company what they can and cannot mandate? I guess they do it already.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, somebody's got to help the individual, I would think. I don't expect the government to do that. Not anymore. But I do foresee some lawsuits happening.
When you say government, you mean any government, just federal government?
Our federal government.
Okay.
This is a nice segue into Australia,
Down under.
Crikey.
where they're
Australia.
basically locking down everybody.
Australia has really disappointed me. Really disappointed me. Tell us about Australia, Austin.
Well, you can't leave your house. You can only go within like 3 miles of your house.
Well, I think it's 3 kilometers. So like
whatever
1
they
mile,
use.
basically.
People are getting arrested. I mean,
Just imagine if that was here. I mean, my old neighborhood, that would be to the front of the neighborhood. You could go to the front of the neighborhood. Good luck going anywhere else. I wonder if Instacart drivers
Would they have like
are essential and they can drive around.
Yeah, but they can't come into your neighborhood. You got to meet them there. You got to walk.
I mean,
Within a mile.
Yeah.
what's that mean though
Like
for
they
like
drop it off and you have to go get it.
people that have to work over there? Like they have work like visas or something.
What is it? The QR codes that certain businesses are having to have.
I don't know.
What?
Nothing. QR codes.
Yeah. I thought that was.
I mean, like you know how
They're scanning something.
What do the QR codes do?
That's a good question. I'm trying to remember what that that news article was it the
remember.
construction crew didn't have their like code put up to be scanned. I saw another video. It was by the
So,
Like
like
by one of the drones.
They have like a permit or something like on that code
yeah, maybe.
to like work or be outside or something.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, to be part of that. I guess what they would call essential. What we were calling that last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're rioting over there. Like I mean, like it was last year here.
I think it's
And-
even worse over
yeah.
there.
Was the whole of the, this is off topic, was the whole of the U.S. military considered essential last year? Do you know? I was just curious.
Surely so.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would send a pretty bad message.
It would, wouldn't it?
Speaking of military, they've used the military in Australia to enforce these laws.
Oh, you mean the Australian military?
Mhm.
Yeah, they.
Yeah, it'd be bad if they used the American military.
Just wait.
But yeah, I mean,
Just wait.
Are you getting that third shot?
We are allies after all.
it's getting pretty crazy over there. Like,
What are some of the laws they've put in place
It's like, what,
off the top of your head?
$5,000 for misinformation, quote unquote misinformation on Facebook, I believe.
so you
Something
can't
like
even
that.
like talk about COVID lockdowns
Yeah.
on Facebook. 'Cause
They don't.
It might be labeled as misinformation,
Yeah.
and they get fined.
There was that one from a while ago says, even if you know someone in public,
Don't talk to
don't
them.
talk to them.
Today, it's not the time to be friendly.
Yeah. Need walkie-talkies.
Even if you're 6 feet away and wearing a mask.
Basically, just don't breathe when you go outside.
Yeah.
Just go inside, hold your breath, and walk outside. Do what you got to do.
I haven't even really kept up with how Australia's doing. I know they were struggling with the vaccine early on, not getting enough. And are they treating with, what's it called? Ivermectin?
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 I don't know.
I think they might have been trying it for a while.
Were they?
I think. But
Is
I
that-
might also be wrong.
I thought they were trying to shut that down too. It was like hydroxychloroquine.
Oh, I think, is that used to treat worms?
Oh,
Ivermectin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a horse. They use it on horses.
Don't say that.
and
It makes it sound
livestock.
worse.
Yeah,
Oh, goodness.
I guess it's a dewormer. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's not a bad idea.
I heard they were having to lock that stuff up at like all these agriculture
stores.
Yeah,
That's dangerous.
because people were going in there and trying to get like tubes of it.
Yeah, because it comes in a gel, I think. You put it on your toothpaste.
I mean,
or toothbrush.
Surely that can't be healthy.
Oh gosh, no.
I'm trying to look up some more of Australia's.
Well, they had the drones.
They've got drones going around
that
telling
were
people.
surveilling.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it in that news story you just sent us earlier where the 8 teens were arrested for being out in a park
Yeah,
and they just got arrested because they were out in the park?
yeah. They can't have any gatherings whatsoever. They get arrested and fined.
In that church. Did I send that to y'all?
No.
The church, you can't in Australia right now. It's 2. You can have 2 people singing or chanting, but not any more than that. This church,
They took the direct definition of a church.
yeah. So they had 6 people, or at least like 6 people on stage, and that church got fined $5,000.
Are they doing that in Canada too?
Canada's pretty bad too, but somebody told on this church, and that's what the whole comparison to back in the day in Germany when people just told on each other because the government, had their rules and. But I think that the science that has come out lately, or the statistics show that it really hasn't helped. The lockdown hasn't really helped with cases
Where?
in Australia.
Well, they didn't have it that bad to begin with. I don't think.
Didn't they shut that one town down for like
One case, and the nearest town was what, 800 miles away.
Yeah.
Or they locked the whole country
I
down.
bet you ever got brought in by a kangaroo.
Some of the laws though are just absolutely.
Oh yeah, one of them I remember now. Correct me if I'm wrong. The police now have or they did at the time, have the ability to enter your home if you're
Without
suspected of
warrant.
breaking COVID lockdown procedure.
How do you decide? Do you just ride down the street and you hear some music?
I think it's based on music. Smells, like particularly like if barbecue. You can smell barbecue. You know something's up.
Well,
no one cooks barbecue for 3 people.
Right. I think the issue is once they have that power, do
When does
you
it stop?
foresee them giving it back first, and
No.
then secondly, when does it stop? Yeah, I mean, I think that's the better question, and it's very concerning that a democracy would have this type of thing happen, and people obviously are pretty upset.
I was almost going to tell everyone that you just did air quotes, but
I think they can see.
yeah.
Yeah, I did air quotes. Yeah, and then what? China was making fun of them basically.
Yeah.
Another question is, when does that start happening here? And will that start happening here?
Well, it
To
will
that
definitely
extent.
never happen here.
Well, I don't think they. First off, my gosh, how many people have been infected compared to over there?
Yeah.
I think we had it way worse. And if we were going to do anything like that, we would have done it already. But I think also public sentiment is pretty against that.
I think it's going to be a slow burn.
That'd be a hard one to get past, I think.
I think people now are just. It would be very difficult politically to shut anything down, lock anything down for either side. I think
Mhm.
Gavin Newsom is facing that now in California.
Yeah.
When you let everyone back out, got a taste of freedom again, and going around without masks, and you just don't see it. I mean, I know it's different here than it is California, but no one wants to go back. I mean, if you're working from home, no one wants to go back, but no one wants to go back.
Well, I just think about how many small businesses went under during
Yeah.
lockdowns, and you certainly don't want that to happen again. I cannot imagine how many more businesses would go down if there was another lockdown.
Mm-hmm. That's a whole other thing.
I mean, that
Another
was the
topic.
whole point of an economic recovery after COVID, was people just basically going back to what they were doing before. Of course, there were some changes, I'm sure, because a
Yeah.
lot of businesses closed.
There was a lot of money made.
And where was that money made?
Yeah.
Amazon.
And not in movie theaters.
Come on, Jeffrey. You can do it. Have you seen that?
Yeah, put your back into it.
Yeah, Jeffrey Bezos made a lot of money during the pandemic.
Yeah, well, didn't Elon Musk made a lot too? He became, I think, the second richest man in the
I don't
world.
think that was because of COVID, though.
Was that
No,
Doge?
it just was in between.
Well, I'm just saying
happened.
because of COVID, Amazon just skyrocketed because it just wasn't fair. Local businesses suffered because they were closed, so
Mhm.
Amazon.
So everybody just bought everything online.
Mega
and had it shipped
fortress.
to their house.
Yeah.
That and Walmart and
I
I mean, what type of message are we trying to send with that?
I wonder if the death of small business is inevitable at this point, to where it is now. If this was kind of just like the tip of the iceberg. I mean, Amazon isn't getting smaller, and there's just going to be another Amazon. Just going to buy it up.
I would certainly hope that it's not,
Oh yeah,
but I don't
absolutely.
think it is. I mean, there are plenty of small businesses outside of what Amazon is good at.
For now.
Well, I mean, really, you have to.
I didn't think they would be going to space.
If you had no small business, that's a ton of jobs. I don't know the exact percentage in every state, but if you wipe out small businesses, then
They're just going to be called Amazon small businesses.
well, Amazon would have to be.
It's going to be called Country Store by Amazon.
At that point, Amazon would be the biggest. Like, they would be basically the state at that point,
Oh yeah,
and then we'd have a different conversation.
corporate countries.
Yeah.
don't they have laws
We've
about
had
monopolies?
laws before. Yeah.
Well, what is it now? You know, with big tech companies, they somehow, like Facebook's been sued for supposedly being a monopoly. Cody doesn't think they'll lose. Twitter, I think, has a monopoly on certain things.
Yeah.
Of course, Facebook has bought WhatsApp, Instagram.
What does Twitter have a monopoly on?
Well, I don't think you can classify it legally as a monopoly, but I do
Well,
think
that's a
they have
problem.
I know that's the issue. I do think they have a monopoly on short thoughts in social media.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't
who
think so.
who is on any type of level with them?
I don't know of any because I think they made it.
I know.
I mean,
And can you be a monopoly if you make a certain product? That's the issue.
if it's not readily copyable. But I mean, you know,
I mean, there is certain monopolistic practices when, what was Parler?
Yeah.
When they were like, all right, well, if y'all don't want to be on Facebook, you can go to Parler. And then what did the Facebook, or was the Apple Store?
Yeah, the
Apple
Apple Store.
App Store, and then Amazon Web Services.
Yeah, they basically
Just kicked
said-
them off, basically.
Yeah, they said their
And they killed it.
admins or whatever weren't filtering the content
And they all
to a
partnered
certain
together.
level.
They all partnered together to do that,
to get them shut down off the app stores.
which wasn't coincidental.
it's capitalism, baby.
Yeah, dirty capitalism. Which I think there's, capitalism's good for the most part, but there is a huge greed component.
No, I mean it runs off greed
Not always.
generally.
Well, if you're trying to make money, I don't think that's greed necessarily. Now, I do think there are
I
certain...
mean, at its core,
trying to make
I mean,
money is greed. Trying to feed your family is greed.
I don't. We're talking about companies here.
I'm talking about small businesses. I mean,
Okay.
companies.
I don't know why you got so offended by that.
Making money is greed. That's
That
just crazy.
capitalism is based on greed. That's what makes it run. The desire to make money.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's greed.
I mean,
though.
I'm not saying greed is inherently
I think
evil.
it's a facet of it.
I think it's certainly a facet of it because making money is the whole, and it's who can provide a service that everybody wants, and beat out competition. What?
I just didn't expect that reaction to me saying it was based
I didn't
on
expect
greed.
the reaction to be, well, yeah, it's all greed.
I mean, it is
It's not though.
for the most part.
Do you think people start businesses because of greed?
What drives innovation?
When you make money at a job
In
that you
retail.
hate, is it for greed?
Is it for greed? The desire for money?
Just because you desire to live a life and not die because you're poor.
That's not the same thing.
Well, that's exactly what you said it was.
Well, how much is capitalism? I'm talking about big businesses.
Well, then you mean to make it a distinction there.
No, you
Because
don't need to get upset that I said greed.
Capitalism is the whole structure.
I'm not disowning capitalism here. You don't need to get upset about it.
I think you threw a lot of people under the bus with, oh, if you're trying to make money, that's greed. That's
the
mil-
idea of wanting money is greed. Is it not?
No.
It's not.
I think greed has a negative connotation to it.
I mean, I would.
It is one of the 7 deadly sins.
It's my fault for saying greed. I didn't mean it
Yeah,
negatively. I mean the desire for money. Is that better? The drive for money.
Yeah.
Maybe
there you
maybe
go.
excessive money.
Excessive amounts of money to where, if your goal is
How about evil greed?
I mean, I don't think anybody
yeah.
starts out and is like, I wouldn't love to make a lot of money. But unless they're like really searching, and it's, I'd say excessive. And there's other words for it as well. But I don't think people go to, to jobs they hate.
But that's not a part of capitalism. You go to jobs and
Everything is
you
part
go
of
to
capitalism.
But you go to jobs in other economic forms.
Yeah.
I mean,
But we're talking
You have to
about
have a-
capitalism in America.
yeah. At the top, it's greed.
And some of it is, and you could argue that some of it's not.
You could. That's what we're doing.
but I think, or at the top.
Oh, I mean,
I don't think
yes.
small businesses
I don't know
are
if it starts
greed.
out that way. I think it's just every year when you have a Fortune 500 company, they have a profit year, or what am I trying to say?
Record breaking.
Record profit year. I keep saying profit weird. Record profit year, and that's never enough. You got to do it again the next year. You got to do it again the next year.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I do. I mean,
at its
there's
core,
certainly-
obviously capitalism has flaws, and that's one of them.
I think Wall Street has a greed issue in general, and I think stockholders are a piece of that.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, because nobody wants to invest in a company that's not doing as well as it was last year.
Mm-mm.
It's not the same for a small business,
No,
which I think is the distinction there.
I'll concur.
Some people open small business because they generally.
No, I wasn't
Enjoy.
saying people open businesses because they're greedy. I mean, you can have a passion and want to share that passion.
But then you also have small businesses. To become a big business, you got to start small.
You do.
So maybe somewhere along there they do get greedy.
I think amassing wealth, when you get to a certain point, I think it's just like a switch that flips. A lot of people, and most people probably, you won't.
There probably are a lot of people
you
that
need more. I mean,
I'm trying to think of
life runs on
a
money.
major CEO that I wouldn't necessarily classify as greedy.
I don't know that many CEOs.
I mean, Elon Musk is supposedly living in a tiny home in Texas. Would you call him greedy?
I don't know Elon Musk to call him greedy.
I mean,
But
we don't know
I
any
think
of
a
them, but
billionaire. There's no way to be a billionaire without being greedy. You're a billionaire.
what do you think, Austin?
I think once you get to a certain level, I mean, the thoughts probably come into your head that, I could start making like way more than I've been making. I mean, you start branching out and you get this other store, you just see your profits start skyrocketing. I'm sure that, that becomes an issue. And then another question is back to monopolies, is how big is too big? And with the tech companies and say like Amazon, are they too big now?
Well, I mean, how would we classify too big? Are they too successful at what they do?
Well, that's not really what a monopoly is. I mean,
Well,
I
know,
guess
but
in
we're
some
changing.
aspects.
We're changing because the world has changed since the original idea of a monopoly was put out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which I'm not even sure we really enforce them properly.
well, I think
know
it depends on who is the judge at the time.
Yeah. I mean, are you talking? You want to break up businesses because they have too much capital, too many assets?
I don't know. What are you saying
Because
by?
I mean, at that point, you're affecting. If you did that to Amazon, you're directly affecting the wealth of Jeff Bezos. I mean, if he remained, owner, what are you really accomplishing?
I don't really. I know he's not
He's not
the CEO anymore.
No.
Well, I think another question is with monopoly, when you get to like a tech company that has a platform for speaking,
Mm-hmm.
has it become so ingrained in society that people have a right
To it,
to it?
like public domain.
So when does it become the issue of? I think it is now becoming an issue, but between private company being such a platform for speech in America
Mm-hmm.
that you have an issue if you censor people.
Yeah.
And I think Twitter has obviously run into that.
That's just, I don't know. That's just one of those things where we are coming to a point where we're going to have to rewrite laws, make new laws.
Oh, I think so.
Have y'all seen that radio commercial? Yeah, obviously you haven't seen the radio commercial. Have you heard
Very-
the radio commercial about the
very broad.
Facebook? The Facebook, I haven't researched it at all, but something Facebook is supposedly pushing for Internet Reform Act, something along those lines. And one of their bullet points on the radio ad is election integrity. This is through Facebook.
Anytime a big tech company says anything about election integrity, I'm automatically suspicious. Automatically suspicious.
I'm just suspicious of Facebook.
I am too.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg, he looks like a robot.
Lizard.
He might be the first Tesla bot.
I think he's related to Data from Star Trek.
I haven't seen Star Trek, so
Have you seen the movie?
nope.
Well, whatever. It fell on deaf ears. I'll send you a picture. Notori replaced my chicken broth with 34% sodium.
Instacart.
Yes. Yeah.
Speaking of the Tesla bot,
Were we?
I just said something about the Tesla bot
Oh, okay.
because
What about
I
it?
said Mark Zuckerberg might be the first.
Oh, so robot. I gotcha. Nice.
So Tesla had the AI day yesterday, or no, it was Friday, where they unveiled, or Elon Musk unveiled, that they have next year they will have a prototype Tesla bot, which will be very human-like, weigh 125 pounds, I think, lift maybe 45 pounds,
Mhm.
and it's like 5'8". And he did say it will be slow enough for you to outrun it. And weak enough just in case something bad happens, which I think is
But for how long?
a very bad way of introducing a product that
Yeah.
people are going to want in their homes,
It's like the movie It Follows.
because it can only go. I hate that movie. They can only go 5 miles an hour. But anyways, I wanted to talk about AI because they say that they really don't think, I read that people, The Verge was on there saying they really don't think this is like an actual thing Tesla's doing. They're trying to put it out there so that they can recruit top talent in AI in general,
Hmm.
and then just, we're interested in the Tesla bot, and just put them straight into their car sector, because AI wise, they're trying to really work on autopilot systems for their cars.
They've got some cool videos on YouTube of their AI and how it's learning.
With the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're basically saying it's a robot on wheels,
Mhm.
and it is. I mean, I think it's doing what specific type of learning is that?
What?
Where it's constantly.
Machine learning?
Like how if one car goes over a pothole, like all the
Yeah.
other Teslas will now know that the pothole is right there, and that same. What is that?
I think is it not machine learning? I'm not sure, but they all are. The more data they get,
No, it's something else.
the more safe they are. So they know, like we know that they're going to be dangerous to begin with. And I am a Tesla shareholder, so I probably should disclose that. I'm a big fan of Tesla. But the more accidents happen, the actual more safe that the cars will be. And I think the learning that's happening, they're just teaching
Mm-hmm.
each other,
Yeah.
the Teslas, like the network there.
Hmm.
Of course, apparently, I read that they just cannot stop running into ambulances that are parked.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
That's strange.
I don't know the research on that. I
How
saw
many
that as a
times has it
comment.
happened?
I don't know. Somebody's like, yeah, all this, but they still keep hitting parked. They can't avoid parked ambulances.
It's like someone wrote that in the code.
So I don't-
No doubt.
I don't know if that's like a thing.
Because it's just like it's invisible to them. They don't see it.
I don't know, but at AI Day they did show like the car, and they have like, my gosh, 8 cameras on it from like every angle.
Mhm.
So it's like constantly thinking through the statistics and scenarios of what if happens, which I think is only going to get better. And I saw a video, I didn't watch it, but the title was like times the Tesla autopilot saved humans from idiots, and his other Tesla fails where
Yeah.
it has caused the wreck.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I think it's undeniable that it will get to a level where it's safer than humans.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
especially it will get safer the more Teslas there are, just more because obviously other industries are going to. I mean, other industry leaders will adapt to it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
They'll have
you
to.
think about that. If Tesla has the platform for all this AI learning in cars, are they going to have another? Is Ford going to have another platform for their autopilot, or are they just going to incorporate Teslas? Because
they will
whoever
definitely eventually have to be connected.
that will be like
Yeah.
a government sector, I would think, like a department.
Probably, yeah.
Which, if Tesla can continue to have, basically we talk about monopolies right now. They are on top of the world
I'm
with
just
AI.
waiting for, on my Fitbit, I have my credit cards. I can, hit it, pay with my watch.
Yeah.
I want to be able to pay with my car at Taco Bell. I don't want them to have to take my card. I want them to be able to, sense my wallet while in my car.
So if somebody steals your Tesla, they have your wallet, and they could just drive through Taco
No.
Bell.
You'll have
They wouldn't be
similar
able
to,
to steal the
your, your
Tesla.
Fitbit. You have your code you have to push in.
Can they not steal a Tesla? Why not?
I mean, I'm just saying, if they'd probably eventually come out with some kind of scanner that knows your face.
Well, aren't the well, this is on the Cybertruck. They're supposed to be sledgehammer proof.
The window's not.
Well, that is what was supposed
Was
to
that
happen, and then Elon Musk hit it and it cracked
Yeah.
in the
When
presentation.
he turned around, looked at the camera, was like,
It's like that was not supposed to happen. Well, I don't know if you can ever.
I wonder how many people got fired for that.
Right. So
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. AI.
no, I think that what I really want to talk about, where it's going and the future of. Yeah, I mean, you have a car that's autopilot. Imagine how much more productive of a society we can be.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you choose to just nap every time it goes somewhere, because it is a lot different if you're going on a road trip compared to your
Yeah.
commute to work.
And I think that'd be a lot easier for the AI to learn, highways, because I mean that's way more just easier for the person than taking a road through a town that's got all these twists and turns, pedestrians and all that. I mean, highways just straight.
Yeah, and will it learn traffic patterns?
Yeah.
I'm sure it will, and other routes to go through.
Doesn't it already know how to? I mean, it stops and all
Oh
that
yeah,
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, it's
I mean, it's
sophisticated.
out there.
I mean, you haven't seen those videos of people asleep in their car?
Yeah.
But it's still pretty new. I wouldn't try it yet.
I saw a video last week of a Tesla, and it thought the sun was a red light. It was
Was it right in front of
at
it?
dusk? And it had,
yeah.
it was right there on the horizon.
So did it just stop in the road?
I think so.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Maybe it thought it was a yellow light. Either way, it was either
Caution.
slowing down or it was stopping.
Yeah. Again, I think the more you see these things,
But now
I think the
knows.
better it's gonna.
Now
it's
the
gonna
Tesla
be.
knows what the sun is.
It knows. I mean, how much does the car actually need to know? You start to wonder that. Okay, this is the sun, and
Yeah.
what does the car do with that data? Okay, well,
And,
if it
at what
is
point-
sunset, and then at what point does it start to incorporate all that knowledge together
Yeah.
and take over the world?
What part does it mean? Do we put that into a fighter jet?
A Tesla fighter jet.
A Tesla fighter jet.
This is a perfect reason why we don't need the Tesla bot, even if he is only 5'8".
You could just have the
Or
Tesla
she.
bot fly the fighter jet.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's supposed to take
I
away.
think they made a movie about it.
The literal purpose for it was to take away boring tasks for humans.
Yeah. With
So we could then do
factory
more
work.
boring
So
tasks.
you could send the Tesla bot to Taco Bell for you in your Tesla.
In my
Or
can it drive?
or you could send him on a
is
walk.
it old enough to drive?
I don't. I mean, it would be technically under 1 year old. So, would he walk? Could you tell him to walk, and would he know how to get there? Would they use AI to do that?
Is he a he?
Is he? I'm sure he's non-binary.
No, he's definitely binary.
No, he's not.
Actually,
he
he
has
is
no
binary.
gender. No, I don't. But if you, I mean, imagine a world if he does create the Tesla bot where you're just riding down the highway and you see some Tesla bots just walking.
Gosh, I hope Will Smith is in one of these commercials.
Right. Oh, gosh.
I mean, the Tesla bot.
How are we doing on battery?
30.
Okay.
We're getting close.
Yeah, we are getting close.
Never know, it might just shut off.
Right. So, yeah, I think AI, the future of society is getting really close. I think we were really close to seeing a major shift. And the more that Tesla does this, AI-wise, I think the more dangerous machine learning becomes, but also there is positives to it.
Yeah. So, I mean, well, AI is not new per se. I mean, they've been using it for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was that company? Boston Dynamics or something
Yeah,
like
they
that?
got bought
that's
not too long
freaky.
ago.
That is so freaky.
Yeah, they actually use those in the military, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
Gundams.
I've seen videos where they use them to, like, basically as a pack mule.
Mhm.
I mean, that's simple enough.
So I think if that happens, then you will see the end to some small businesses.
AI.
Yeah. I mean, things like the Boston Dynamics robot that can do like warehousing.
Oh,
I mean, my gosh,
have you seen those?
I have.
Those are crazy.
I mean, and you think about that, that will take away. And as
Mhm.
soon as Tesla's autopilot works on 18-wheelers, semi-trucks, or
And then they have a
Semi-trucks.
a semi.
I mean, imagine that. And I mean, they'll be electric at some point, fully. And
Isn't
that's
Elon,
millions of
like,
jobs.
pretty against AI?
He is, but he also his argument.
But, I
he's
mean,
working
a
on
certain level of AI, I guess.
He's working on Neuralink as well. And if you've listened to him, he had a Joe Rogan podcast where he said, yes, AI will be an issue. He's like, but this Neuralink is supposed to, if people get it, and I forget what year he said that he wanted that to happen. In the 2020s, though, that people that would have the Neuralink would basically be more on AI level than a normal human would be. And that was to offset, because you were supposed to have a ton of knowledge with the Neuralink. I don't know enough specifics about that, but that was his whole counter argument to why would anybody be against getting this. I know. I mean, there's a lot to go there, because if you, I mean.
So I mean, it's supposed to make humans more competitive with robots.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting into a whole new world at that point, like a new species, really.
Yeah, that's it. That's the end of the world.
I mean, I don't know where
Just like the end of this episode.
I don't know where we go from there.
We go home. All right, folks. Thanks for listening. This has been the state of things, and we are going to head out for the evening.
Comment, like, subscribe to us if you like what you heard.
Or even if you didn't.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all next time.
Yep. Appreciate it.
Thank
See
you.
y'all.
Bye.
Goodbye.